for a few more minutes.
Fine. I have time.
Yeah. So you can try out with the PPT, sir. Just try to do that.
Can I?
Yeah, we made you a co-host, sir.
Okay, fine. Oh, okay. Can you see, sir? All of you, can you see?
We cannot.
No.
You cannot see. It has come here, full screen.
No, you need to share it, sir.
Oh, okay.
There's a bottom, there's a share screen, green color on the
I think let's see. Oh, share screen.
bottom toolbar right in the center, where you mute and unmute.
Because this, let's see what best I can do it. I have to do it again, I guess. Okay. Oh, sorry. Share screen.
So you can press Alt S.
Now I put the share or put the slide now?
Whatever's on your screen.
Yeah.
You have
now,
to be. Yes.
Oh, okay, fine.
Now it's fine. Now it's fine.
It's fine then.
Okay. Let it be there only, sir.
Okay, like that only. Shall I widen the screen?
No. Afterwards, you can put it.
Afterwards, okay, fine, sir.
Yeah, let us get into the meeting.
Yes.
Then, so still about a minute, 2 minutes, we can wait.
Fine. Sam, where were you in USA?
I was in Wisconsin, did my studies in Milwaukee.
Oh, great.
And
so,
then
Budweiser group.
Yes.
Budweiser group.
Budweiser's from there, yes. And then worked in Chicago for about 8 years.
Okay.
I was
there for 11 years.
Okay.
Okay. 1 year in Ohio State University.
Yes. Okay.
10 years in Wayne State University, Detroit.
Michigan. Okay.
So now I'm going as a visiting professor to New York there and also Tulane University, New Orleans.
Okay, great.
And master in Canada.
Okay.
And Prince Edward Island in Canada.
Yes.
A beautiful place.
Beautiful place.
Beautiful place. There also I go as a visiting professor. Yes.
Okay. Wow.
Sam, Victor has come.
Yes, I think Victor's there.
Yes, Vinod, I'm here.
Yeah.
So,
shall we start, Sam?
Yes. In a minute's time.
For others to come on, then.
We have a lot of friends or families also joining. So
with pleasure.
Yes. So we've invited people who have any kind of concern to join so that they can, reduce their anxiety levels and not be.
Definitely. So we are here to clarify certain things.
Correct.
How best we can move forward. Yes. Whole world is in anxiety, as a matter of fact.
That's true. I agree.
Yes. So yesterday, I had from Geneva, I spoke to my friend. They are also very much worried. In USA, they are very scared because they eased up using the mask.
Okay.
They're very unhappy about it.
Mm.
Very unhappy and very unhappy.
I see. The vaccination levels there are pretty high.
Yes.
Those countries, especially the UK and the US and Israel, and these few countries have been able to vaccinate a good amount of their population.
Yes.
Should help a little bit.
Our vaccination third in the world in numbers.
Yes.
Percentage-wise, we are less.
Correct.
Total population. We are third in the world. Total number of vaccinated. First China, second USA, third is India.
Correct.
But the total number is so much, percentage is less.
We had started off pretty decently well, but then May, everything just tanked.
Exactly. But that has happened in many countries, as a matter of fact.
I see.
Yeah, not only here, many countries. I have some data to substantiate and clarify some of these doubts.
Yeah.
Yes. Definitely, we are in the crisis. There's no question.
True, true.
Mm-hmm.
Sam, shall we start, Sam?
Sure. Let's get going.
Yeah. Good evening, all. This is Vinod here. Hope you are all doing fine, healthy, and staying fit. A lot of people today, the topic of the day is, anybody talks, the discussion starts with how are you? Earlier and all, hi, hello, that is earlier and all, we used to just get into that. But today, the first 2-3 minutes, whenever you discuss, we will meet known and unknown people, even unknown people, we are talking about the topic, or are you fine? Everything is fine. Your family people are fine. This kind of discussions have started, it is day by day, we are getting close to unknown and unknown people also. When we were discussing this point, in the our Elmeasure, I had attended one seminar by Dr. Parmesh, who is an expert in this in this field itself. I thought, okay, let me invite him. Let us invite him. And when I took it to Sam, Sam was very happy to accept it. Okay, boss, bring. You can invite sir, so that he can share his the information and knowledge with all, so that now that the anxiety level comes down, and we can face this situation more confidently. This is what actually we thought. So that's why we have invited sir also. I request Victorprasad, our Vice President, HR and Admin, to introduce Dr. Parmeshwara to the forum.
Thank you, Vinod. It's indeed a pleasure to introduce Dr. and Professor Rotarian Dr. H. Parmeshwarappa, Parmesh we call. And if you see, he has given a very detailed one-page note which has 50 line items to introduce him, which is very, very difficult, which shows that he has been contributed in many areas across the globe, including United States, India, the state of Karnataka, and Geneva. If you look at many things are there. So, paucity of time, I'll be taking just 5 minutes to introduce about him, so that we all know that really. Thank you, Dr. Parmesh, for taking your precious time and giving your time for us to take away the anxiety people have. I really agree with you. There's a lot of anxiety and around the COVID and its pandemic and the vaccine. A lot of things goes around. He's also a visiting professor in US, Nepal, Canada, United Kingdom, Australia, and Italy. He is also was a chairman for H1N1 and a control core committee for Government of Karnataka. And Professor Parmesh was also advisor to Rajiv Gandhi Institute of Public Health, which is Rajiv Gandhi University of Health Sciences. He was also a member of Academic Council, Adi Chanchagiri University. He is also a member of WHO and NGO Climate Change Health Working Committee member at Geneva. He is also chairman on many of the boards like Karnataka State Pollution Control Board, Pediatric Allergy Association of India, Allergy and Immunology of Indian Academy of Pediatrics, and he is also a principal investigator for aero allergies and health, which is constituted by Ministry of Environment, Forest, Government of India. He was on the chairman of state government on Environment Health Action Plan, which is again a World Bank project. And he is a facilitator, panelist, advisor on WHO, UNICEF, UNDP, and he is also Commissioner of Microeconomics and Health, Government of India. He's also a national founder of Allergy and Applied Immunology chapter of Indian Academy of Pediatrics. And he's one of the 8 international opinion leaders on respiratory health for preschools. He's also one of the 9 international experts in collaboration with research being done across the globe on pediatric immune system. So we are here with is at present a national president of Commonwealth Association of Health and Disability, India chapter, and many more things are there. I am not taking all the things, but we are very expert in pediatric pulmonologist and environmentalist, and is the right thing that Rotarian Vinod Kumar has introduced to us. We are very happy to that. And with this introduction, I now give time for Rotarian Professor Dr. H. Parmeshwarappa to take it forward. Thank you once again.
Okay. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, yes, sir.
I'll make that slide. Okay. Mr. Victorprasad, thank you very much for a kind introduction.
Welcome.
Rotarian Vinod Kumar requested me about 10 days ago whether I can able to address the Elmeasure India Private Limited. I said, with pleasure, I'll do it. That's what I like to propagate the knowledge. So clear our doubts and let's face it, get over it. And also I am pleased to see the youngster that Sam Cherian and enthusiasm and all this thing. Well, we'll share some of these thoughts. We exchange views, sir. If I don't know, I have an access anywhere, I can get an answer to you. If I don't have the answer, I will get it to you and you can send the email. I'll answer all those things. Well, I'll bring the greetings to all the members of the Elmeasure and the special invitees. Namaste for everybody. And let's move forward. And I bring greetings to the Institute, Diveja Center Climate Institute of Science, Bangalore, where I'm working, and also WHO Climate Change Group. Now, COVID-19 pandemic vaccine frequent asked questions. That's what we're coming in that context. This is not based on the App University. I have nothing to do with App University. I like to keep away from that one. These data mainly come from the medical knowledge, published data with peer-reviewed journal, and clinical observation, mostly from the WHO, Center for Disease Control, Government of India, ICMR. Well, and also personally discussed few epidemiologists and virologists. Ravi is there in Institute of Science, and also from Vellore, and professional people, and talking to the patients. In the evening, I spent 2 hours talking to the people who are all suffered and things like that. I gathered this information. Well, unlike you, most of the engineers and all this mathematics, physics, you know very well, maybe I have to learn. Unlike your department, physics and mathematics, which are a science of precision, where 2 + 2 is 4. It cannot be anything else. The medical knowledge is a science of probability. 2 + 2 can be 3, 2 + 2 can be 5. Why it is so? It's mainly to the fact the ingenuity of the enemy, their potency to infect as many people as possible, and the defense system of the host to counteract that one, and also the conducive environment we have created with the comorbidities and pollution, whole lot of things contribute significantly. Because of these things, we cannot be precision in this making. We predict certain things. But however, government wants only mathematical modeling where how many days it takes. A calculation can come there, here and there, you will work it out. And I also one of the being the core committee task force member in H1N1 and vaccine distribution member at that time. And also at that time, as the Private Hospital Nursing Home Association president, where we handled the shoulder the response of the government, taking all the responsibility, we could be able to contain the H1N1 very well, as a matter of fact. Now, when you say pandemic, this is the one we prepared at the time. I'm one of the facilitators for this one. with the Ministry of Health, Government of India, and with the WHO country office, we prepared this. When future pandemic comes, how best to get able to manage. We trained all the Karnataka doctor at that time as one of the felicitator. So usually what happens, there are many phases of the pandemic. 1 to 3 phases, predominantly most of these viruses coming from the animals. When the predominantly animal to animal infection is there, occasional human contact comes there. At that time, we try to guide them how to away from the contact with animals, where to not to go, where to go, how to prevent. These are all the guidelines are there, how to manage it. When sustained human to human contact comes there, we have a guideline, take care of yourself, don't move around, don't go around. We advise them as a matter of fact. Then comes the phase 5 and 6. Phase 5 and 6, many people think it is seriousness. It's not seriousness. More people in the world is communicate, have disease. And the widespread human infection, that's what it means as a matter of fact. If you don't control sustained human to human, within 24 hours, you can spread the disease all over the world, one country to other country. That's what it happened here, pandemic. After the pandemic, where many people suffer, then when it is coming down, at that time, you cannot keep quiet. Post-peak going to come there, invariably. Everybody knows about it. It coming there. The possibility of the recurrent events always happens, as a matter of fact. Post-peak has come. That is the second peak, what we are getting, most devastating. Never expected that. We expected, but not this magnitude. After that, third phase can come, fourth phase can come. And also, after becomes every year it will come there. So we have to live with the virus. Just like flu vaccine, certain season in USA, Sam knows about it. September 28th in fall starts, they start giving flu vaccine for everybody in high risk group. So along with this one, now COVID vaccine also they should give that one. Same way, every become like that. We have to live with the vaccine. There is no way you can avoid it. Having learned that one, let's look into the statistical data. I think India and worldwide, this is as of 17th of May. The total case so far in India, we had 2,49,65,463. The confirmed death is about 2,74,390. Total recovered 2.12 crores. Globally, we have about 16 crores 30 lakhs 87,652 cases. Confirmed death is almost come to about 33 lakhs 80,353. Recovered data is not available as at on that time. May 1st recovery data is there, is about 13 crores 15 lakhs 32,000 recovered. So I think about 2 to 3% mortality is there. But this is the graph shows there. During the last year, October 3rd, we had nearly 1 crore people suffering in a day. But now we got almost 4 to 5 times more that suffering, as a matter of fact. That is the magnitude of the problem. And if you look at the vaccine, as a matter of fact, China is the number 1 in number of vaccination. It has done about nearly over 260 million people. United States has done, as a matter of fact, about 240 million people. India has done as of nearly 156 million people when compared to UK and all this thing, but percentage is more, it becomes less, as a matter of fact. But we have been doing it. We could be able to achieve it end of this year. Now, let's learn about few things about the coronavirus. The coronavirus is identified in the year 1930. It used to cause mild cold, 1 or 2 days, 1 or 2 vomiting and diarrhea, and most of them used to get better themselves without any medication, as a matter of fact. That was the virus. Why did it become so aggressive? This is what we call novel coronavirus due to genetic shifting. We have genetic drifting, genetic shift. Drifting can happen. Just like in a car, you change the headlight and windshield wipers, glass, whole lot of things. They like that. But that happens every virus. Mild drifting can happen. But shifting is the whole engine of the car is changed. That has happened due to the mixing of the various viruses, pangolina and bat and all this thing. That's what it happened. It was first identified in China in December 2019, just like SARS virus. This is also coronavirus, SARS virus, MERS viruses, what had happened. And it is named by WHO as COVID-19 on February 11th, 2020. This is, earlier we thought it mainly from the droplet infection, when you cough, when you sneeze, when you talk, droplet infection. Recently, last month ago, it has been identified. In addition to that, it comes from the airborne infection, nebulization like that. This is one of the contributing factors. Can you see the beautiful tree? What is that tree?
Our lungs.
I think recently we had in Kaban Park this beautiful plant, giving all those things. It looked like that beautiful tree. This is nothing but coronavirus spike. Coronavirus, you have the spikes, you can see that top spikes are there. If you take one of the spike, it looks so beautifully, like it looks like it in electron microscopy. And what has happened, this has got a hip, it has got a knee, it has got an ankle. So those are all the main protein. You have a red, yellow, and orange. These are all the protein of that fungus in spike. So you can move here and there. You can attach any one of the receptors. You can mobile. That combined mobility it has. Look at these beautiful blue flowers. What they are? That is nothing but glycine. That's the sugar molecules. Those are all the one protect this protein molecule. Whenever the antibody comes, it hides them to prevent them from attacking it. Look at that, how ingenuity this virus has it. This is what I want to, this is just came in, today only I got this picture from the Geographic of India, National Geographic. That's a beautiful picture. Now, what happens, as I said, in addition to the droplet, airborne is likely a virus from that one, Lancet published on 15th of last month. When you talk, you produce 100 droplets. When you cough, you generate a speed of nearly 750 kilometers per hour. You produce 1,000 droplets. When you sneeze, you create a speed of air by 1,250 kilometers per hour. You generate over 1 lakh droplets. This is how droplets infection, some of the droplets move in the air. That is what is going to cause. Let's look into the droplet size. What is the virus? The molecule size is only 0.01 micron. I think you look at the virus is 0.1 micron. And a bacteria is 1 micron. And RBCs, we have 5 micron. Cell is a 5 micron. And also the hair is 100 micron. So 1,000, this hair size of the virus, you cannot see it. So when these molecules, when you sneeze, anything like that, bigger droplet is more than 100 micron, they will settle to the ground in 10 seconds. But the small molecule less than 5 micron, they will be in the air, moving around. It takes time for them to settle down on the floor, on the table where you're working. It takes about 9 minutes. In a closed environment, you can't act much rapidly. If you open environment, wind is there, it goes miles together, this small, but it doesn't produce any infection outside. It's only closed chamber. These droplets, which have been small molecule 9 minutes, they will spread more rapidly. The average person can generate over 500 particles per liter of air what he exhales. Now, what is the infectivity of that one? That people say the epidemic say RO, whatever is RO, I'll explain to you later on. Most confusing word, they use it ourselves. My intention RO is what the infectiveness of this virus when compared to the other virus. Chicken pox is the worst, right? It infect, if you get one person a chicken pox, it will spread to 10 people. Measles spread to 9 people. Ordinary swine flu, what we have, common cold and all those things, 1 to 1%. But COVID virus, if 1% gets, is spread 1.5 to 3.5. And the mortality rate is 3.4%. So less than 4% mortality. This is what the contagiousness, deadliness of this coronavirus. Much more than the usual flu, much less than other serious viral infections. And what is the mortality? This is the study about nearly about 44,000 people were analyzed and published from China, Wuhan, and happened. So if you look at the death rate, children less than 10 years, no death happened. All of them got better. Between 10 years to 39 years, it is only 0.2% of the mortality. If 100 people get, 200 people get, only one will die from that. If from age group of 40 to 49 is 0.4%, double the number. If the age goes up 50 to 59, 1.3%. And if it goes up to 60 to 69, 3.6%. 70 to 79, 8%. 80 and above, it comes about nearly the 15% of the people. As the age increases, the mortality rate goes higher and higher, much less in children. So having learned all these basic things, WHO recommended, these are all 9 guidelines in general you have to practice. Most important is wear a mask, number 1. Number 2, keep a distance of 3 feet. Number 3, strict hand washing. But when you feel tired, sick, anything like that, please stay home, self-isolate yourself. And even with the mild symptoms, don't go out. That's what they suggested. And also while sneezing and coughing, cover your nose with the cotton handkerchief or tissues, or use your elbow so that you don't spread others. And avoid touching surfaces or sneezing anything in your table, make it clean so that contact can come from that one. And also stay away from the crowd. Too much of crowd in a closed place is very dangerous, avoid it. And also if you're caring for a contact person, or if you have a disease yourself, please use the surgical mask instead of the cotton mask, what you have been using. But make sure wherever you're working your table, if it has shiny surface, clean it up as a matter of fact. These are all the guidelines WHO given at that time for all the people as a matter of fact to follow it up while you're anxiously waiting, because we cannot stop this medicine. There is no medicine to cure. There is no medicine to prevent it. Follow these guidelines strictly while waiting for the vaccine. Vaccine is the only answer to prevent this disease spreading. We were all waiting for it. During that time, how to manage it? WHO recommended certain things. Most of the countries, they preferred not to lock down. So they preferred the economy will go down. They preferred dollar versus death. But our country leaders preferred life is more precious than livelihood. Even if you don't get 1 meal is all right. Let's save the lives as much as possible. During that time, please care for the birds also. Please care for the animals also. These are all the values. And we claimed very good. This is published in Lancet April 2020. So now the second phase has come down. Our national policy leader has taken, we have seen what is the devastating thing going to happen. So let us care for life. At the same time, livelihood is equally important. How best they will accommodate the expert's opinion. We'll do it in a high-risk group, cover it partial shut down, other area, whatever it you do. These are all the suggestions. The policy makers have recommended that one. So we are anxiously, with all this follow-up, we are anxiously awaited for the vaccine to prevent and promote the good health and protect our health. So as you know, the vaccines can prevent the infectious disease. There is no second opinion about it. When most people in the community are vaccinated against a particular disease, the ability of the germ to spread is very much limited. This is called herd immunity, indirect immunity, population immunity. That's what we call. When many people in the community are immunized, this also indirectly protects the people who cannot be vaccinated, such as young children where you don't have any study in them, infants, and those who have compromised immune system where you cannot give the vaccine. It also protects them spreading the disease from them. Now, how do we protect the people? There are two ways. Natural way, you have to, while using the face mask, everything, move around, low dose virus, you get it. You expect the natural way, you get the immunity. That's the natural way. That is much preferable as a matter of fact. However, the most danger is you have to lose certain people. Mortality will be there, about 3% of the people will die in that group. But it is protection level. It gives more people, the spread much faster. The second way is giving vaccination. This indirect way, enhancing our defense system. And here also, one can expect a reaction to the vaccine and also long-lasting effect. Occasionally, very rarely, some death can also happen. This is a compromise you have to do. But to achieve the community immunity, herd immunity, we nearly have to give the vaccination, or people have to be exposed to that one. 70% of the people in average needs to be exposed either directly or indirectly to get the herd immunity. This is how herd immunity comes. Natural way is a better method, but high mortality will compromise. Indirect way, by vaccination, complication can happen very rarely, we have to accept it. So there are hundreds of companies applies for this vaccination when it came there. 100 people apply for this vaccination, only 7% of those companies get the license to study preclinical study and animal studies based on the guidelines. So in these animal studies who have been given permission, after them, they project their data. Going through that data, expert opinion only gives out of 20% out of 7%, they get the license to produce the vaccine. This is very difficult. Other company has to close their mind. This is stringent guideline as a matter of fact. So if you take one vaccine, how long it takes? Say traditionally, the preclinical, before on human trial, you get animal trials. It takes about 2 years for animal studies. Then animal studies you prove, you get the clearance from the authority, and you try about a dozen people. That is the first phase. That takes 1 year. After take 100 people, there is a second phase. It takes another 2 years. Third phase, about 25 to 30,000 people has to be done. That is take 3 years. So it takes 8 years to produce a vaccine. During that time, third phase, your factory infrastructure has to be increased to produce the vaccine, to manufacture, and getting a workout for all the data for approval. This is the one traditional way vaccine takes. But social determinant dictates it all over the world. We want vaccine early. Get these things done one after another in a parallel way. That is what it happened. But this took about 8 months. Decision was made. In 8 months, you could be able to get the vaccine instead of 8 years. During that time, all the guidelines, safety measures, everything being looked around. And even the WHO met every week, whole lot of things are there. I think from the August until the December, they worked out every week they're meeting, worked out all these things. From January, they released to the market. So that various vaccines are there, it is confusing, which one to take, which one to take. There are new vaccines are there. There are vaccines made from where the germs potency is decreased. Vaccines are made where the killed germs are there. Vaccine made from taking small protein content of the virus, attached to another virus, so that it can carry around without produce any diseases. And also, we have the recombinant DNA viruses with peptides, nucleic acid. There's a new method. They are very difficult to hear in this country. We have only 2 vaccines available. Now the third has been, Sputnik vaccine has come. The we have the whole dead virus. That is Covaxin is the one. Or it is a dead virus totally. And other one is we have taken the protein of the virus and attached to a germ which doesn't produce any, that is chimpanzee adenovirus, attached to that one, that will go circulate in the body, in the cells, that multiply, produce a defense. These are all the two methods we have in India as a matter. And what we are getting, the Sputnik, it is also from adenovirus. The 3-1, we have this kind of thing. What is the government of India and health authorities, ICM, are given? These are all some of the things. So you know that the Covishield is from a vector. We are using the vector. And Covaxin is a dead virus, as a matter of fact. Dose, each vial, Covishield has got 10 doses. Covaxin has got 20 doses in each vial. Their shelf life is only 6 months. You have to use within that period. If you don't use it, it has to be wasted. And also, it has to be given intramuscularly. So what is the dose? 0.5 ml. And course is 2 doses has to be given. What is the interval? Earlier, even though WHO says 6 to 8 weeks and 12 weeks, experts said, let us have even 50% product, much faster protection in our Indian community. Let's have more rapidly. That is what it is for Covaxin. We have given 1 month interval. Now we realize 1 month interval production level is only 50%. If you increase the level 68, it comes about 70%. If you increase 12 to 16, it comes about nearly 80%, 87%. So now the current recommendation is, and also these vaccines, we are utilized just like polio vaccine, what we used to carry, plus 2 to 8 degrees centigrade, we can maintain it as a matter of fact. And other vaccines, so what we have, COVID, the US virus and Pfizer and all, where you have to keep it at minus 70 degrees centigrade. It's next impossible in India to maintain that one. These two vaccines good enough. And also what we are getting, Sputnik also, with the same temperature, we can keep it. And what are the adverse reactions after the vaccine? After the vaccine, some reaction comes. If the reaction comes is good, that means the system is very resilient. You have produced immunity. Your vaccine take action. That's what I feel, as a matter of fact, when you're giving different vaccines. That's what we feel it. In Covishield, you have got tenderness at the area where it was injected, and some pain, headache, fatigue, myalgia, malaise, fever, chills, arthralgia, and nausea can happen. In Covaxin, same, along with this one, extra symptom, one can see it, abdominal pain, giddiness, tiredness, and excessive sweating. One can see these type of things. So ladies and gentlemen, the key point, vaccines are the best way get protection from the disease. There is no such thing as a perfect vaccine with 100% safety. So usual reactions are very mild and they clear up in a couple of days. There is no way anybody can predict anywhere in the world the reaction, how each individual would react with these vaccines. So now after knowing this background vaccine, let's come to the frequently asked question. Why are the healthcare workers are the higher risk for infection by COVID-19 despite their precaution they are taking? These are all the questions somebody asked. Healthcare workers are highest risk as shown from the studies from UK and USA. There is no question about it, despite using the mask and all this thing. Where did they get? Probably they didn't get enough PPE, personal protection equipments properly at that time. Expert undiagnosed cases, COVID, they will see it, they will not be knowing it. By the time they release, too late. From other colleagues, during the coffee break, during the change of gear, they come very close to the other colleague, they contact there within 3 feet. WHO recommended, this is the guideline, we have to follow it up. What is the emergency use of authorized? Why did we emergency instead of making 8 years safety way? Why did we make it 8 days? This is socially determined dictate the terms. The society decided that way all over the world, as a matter of fact. Without compromising the efficacy and safety with proof, we have analyzed this data. There are enough information in manufacturing its quality and competency. The national regulatory authorities must determine that the potential benefits outweigh the known potential risk of the vaccine. The marketing approval is granted only after the completion of the trial. They said, Yes, they have completed most of them. Now we have COVID, COVAX. They are completed all those things. We have that one. I think recent COVID, the Sputnik also going to join us pretty soon. What is the safety profile of mRNA vaccine? That's what US are making. RNA and DNA vaccine. The examples are influenza, Zika virus. The RNA works on the cytoplasm of the cell, does not enter the nucleus. If we enter the nucleus, then you can create a human giants, whole lot of things. You don't know what will happen. That is what I fear people are having it. You are injecting the cytoplasm, not touching genetic matter of the human, of the cell. Hence, there is no risk of integration into the host genome. Recent data shows some bell pulse transfer disease. As a matter of fact, US vaccine, Pfizer, the vice president resigned from that one. And also he joined the Russian, the German virologist, microbiologist. They have written a letter, the vaccine should not be used, their vaccine. But they said it is 95% protection. Other people claim there is some variations always is there. We have to adjust. These are all the people he resigned from that company. What are the efficacy of the vaccine against the severe COVID-19 and hospitalization due to COVID-19 in a person? It is 100% efficacious, which has been shown in hospitalization with the COVID-19. The efficacy varies from 70 to 95% different from protection. Well, many people say this is 70% protection, 95%, 98% protection. What does it mean? Efficacy. Efficacy is different from the protection produced from the human being. Efficacy is, if you take 100 people, in 100 people, you give the vaccine as a trial, and another 100 people, you give the vitamin as a control, and but nobody knows which one have it. You tell them to the community, go in the community. After 2 months, you call them, find out what number of people had the control, got the disease, what percentage of people had the vaccine and control the disease. They analyze the data, finding out that one. They say, so he has a 95% efficiency means he has a 5% chance of getting an infection. And 70% means he has a 30% chance of getting an infection. Protection level is different. What is our defense system? How much efficiency it has produced? What is the level of immunity? How long it lasts? This is totally different. Okay, anything more than 50% is good enough efficacy. Covishield has been proved 70%, now go up to 80% also. And that means 70% means 30% failure rate. That's what I explained. Covishield is against effective against the UK variant, and that effective against the Brazil and South African variants. How long after the vaccine your protection level starts in the human being? The protection level starts on the 5th day itself. Slowly, it reaches the peak by 2 weeks. By 2 weeks after the vaccination, your level is very high. When you get the second dose, you get the booster, reaches the peaks another 2 weeks. How long will the induced protection last? If you generate the defense system, how long the defense lasts? The experts' opinion, we don't know exactly this virus. Experts' opinion is it might last about 6 to 12 months, and every year you might have to get the vaccine, like any flu vaccines like. Which COVID-19 vaccines are contraindicated in people who are defense system deficiency, immunocompromised person, where they are called? All the live attenuated vaccines should be avoided in them. How about usage of vaccine during the pregnancy? We don't have much experience, as a matter of fact. One-to-one talking one can give. No recommendation is there. Please go ahead and give. By giving the vaccine to the mother, not only we enhance the defense system of the mother, and these IgG antibodies cross the placenta and give the protection to the baby also. Defense system also will be there in the baby. These are all new guidelines have come. Can a breastfeeding mother receive the vaccine? Definitely so. There's a current recommendation, because we don't have the trial in these people. If somebody asks, we don't have a trial. No, the experience tells, please go ahead and give it as of currently. Or the vaccines are interchangeable. it is preferable to complete the vaccination schedule with the same brand what you had. That's a recommendation. But there is no data to support this interchangeability so far. There is no data available. But however, recent observations said, as of last week, as of 3 days ago, it can be changed during non-availability of the other vaccine. Because your deficiency vaccine, we want more people to be protected. That's why if you delay it also, fine, wait, as a matter of fact, until your brand comes there. This is what's been told. So even it can be used as a matter of fact. When used, one can expect little more adverse reaction in younger age children because they have got a very resilient immune system. That's why they respond very rapidly. Some adverse reaction will be more in the younger people. You should be guarding on those things. How did government of India prioritize the group for the vaccination? Why did the government of India did that one? Yes, many people ask that one. All right, okay. We followed the guidelines of WHO and recommendation by our national task force from the experts from the government of India, which is based on this potential availability of the vaccine also we taken into consideration. The first group should be the healthcare and frontline workers. The second is the persons over 50 years of age, and reason because nearly 78% of people over the age of 50 years, they have one or the other comorbid like diabetes, hypertension, or name it, any COPD, whole lot of things they have it, non-communicable diseases. And our aim was to save the lives, to avoid the mortality in that group. Third group is the person under the age of 50 years, which have some comorbid conditions. Now it has been there. If a vaccine is available, each one, teach one, and vaccinate one as of 2021. I think we are waiting for the vaccine. Even younger age group also can be involved now. Why children are not prioritized? Because 33 crores people of India are below the age of 19 years. So we pediatricians asking, why my children not given? Why are we giving it risk? One can ask about it. Yes, there are reasons for it. We are all working on that as a matter of fact. Now, COVID-19 is relatively uncommon in children. You saw the mortality, what you say. They have milder symptoms though. Rate of complications are much less in that age group. Rarely are the index case in the family by contact tracing. None of the phase 3 studies included children. We have not studied in children at all. And children also are included in the current recommendation, what has been recommended. Is it mandated to take the vaccine? No, you did not take. If you don't want to, you did not take it. It's a voluntary. But it is advisable to receive the vaccine and complete the schedule as recommended. And it will limit the spread of the disease to the close relative, yourself and close relative of family, friends, co-workers, and relatives. For that reason also, at least you have to care taking the vaccines. Can a person confirmed or suspected having COVID infection be vaccinated? No, because when you give the vaccine, if some leak happens, that it will, by touching it, can spread other people. So you have to complete your isolation and wait for another 2 weeks before you get the vaccine. That was the recommendation. Is it necessary for a COVID-19 recovery person to take the vaccine? He has suffered from that one all the duration. Still he has to take the vaccine or not? Yes, he should take the vaccine full course as a matter, since the protective antibody come from the natural infection is means of as he grow older. So it acts like a booster. Your current recommendation after 3 months come out of the isolation and come out of the disease. Do I have to register my name in the vaccine? Yes, you have to register as a matter of fact. And how will I know the vaccination? They will call you in a cell phone. Where to go, they'll guide you. You don't have to worry. System is very good. Will the private sector be involved in the COVID vaccine? Earlier, it was not involved as a matter of fact. Now it is allowed in a private sector also. You have to carry your identity with all the formalities can be carried, as a matter of fact, and they will charge, the private sector also, they will charge. Does vaccine help the new mutation of the COVID UK, South Africa, and US variety? The viral mutation, what I mentioned earlier, drifting, the minor changes, it commonly occurs every year, it occurs. And from 1%, third or fourth person, some changes always happens, as a matter of fact. Even earlier, when the child comes from the school, gets cold, it gives his brother, sisters, and mother, and thing. By the time third, fourth people, again child gets that. That's called, which we call ping pong infection. That drifting can happen, minor changes like that. Vaccine work in this situation may be with less efficiency. Anywhere above 50% production is good enough. Please go ahead. What is the importance of vaccine vial monitoring? VVM confusion created by the politician, this one. In polio vaccine, what we had vaccine vial monitor. If its color changes, you should not use it. That was the guideline. We are not using in this one for various reasons. This has been authorized by the Drug Controller of India, as a matter of fact. So because of the cost involved, time involved was taken into consideration. The precautions taken to maintain the safety and potency of the following way: by way of discarding the vaccine vial after 4 hours. Once you open it up, within 4 hours, if you don't use it, you have to throw it out. That's why we wasted millions of vaccine earlier from the hesitancy. Discard if there is a color change. Discard if there are any particle you see it, don't use it. Most of the time, the vial is emptied within 1 hour after open, unless it's opened as the last person who is there, 1 or 2 people, then you have to change another 18 doses, you have to waste it. All precaution is taken. What is the interval between the Covishield injections? So WHO said 8 to 12 weeks, now I highlighted. So Covishield, you can take it at 12 weeks interval. Other one is 4 weeks. Can 2 doses of vaccine person get the disease? I have 2 doses. Still, can you get a disease? No vaccine will give a perfect protection 100%, for sure. One can contact the germ and suffer the illness also even after 2 doses. But the person who got the contact the disease, he is protected from the severity of the suffering from severity of the disease, and very unlikely death occurs in those type of people. This is a fact. Let us learn to live with the virus. I think, would you recommend continuing the online education of classes for the foreseeable future? Well, there is always a silver lining on the dark clouds, what you have been facing. Online meeting, webinars, what we are having now, it is possible mainly for the silver lining. Otherwise, we would not have learned each other. We have an access anywhere in the world, expert learning from those things. This silver lining has come in this horrendous situation. And closing schools during early stages of pandemic has helped reducing the death rate, reducing the severity of the disease. According to the data available, what had happened in 1918 in the United Kingdom, in 2000 in Israel. Even though nothing can match the direct interaction with the teachers, web teaching has a role in the future. I can foresee it. Whatever the parents think about it, this is the study done in Delhi, where 289 graduated mothers were interviewed. You know what is there? I think there are English medium schools. Online classes are less comfortable with them. They're less satisfactory. More than 80%, they're saying that. My children having a poor attention and concentration. What are the children say about? They demand, nearly 45, they demand to go to school. And also, there is significant reduction in the self-hygiene care, as a matter of fact. They're most irritable, and they learned the art of surfing, finger exercise, they learned more than the skeletal muscle exercise. Learning in regular classes cannot be matched with the online learning, but it will come back. A certain situation, we have to use it. Well, why the second wave phase to COVID-19? I think we are fighting the picture. We are fighting with all the arms and ammunitions. The coronavirus also fighting it back against us. Why did two-phase become so severe? Corona become so severe. Change in the behavior of the virus. This virus becomes smarter. With its genetic drifting, it is changing its pattern. And by that drifting, changing in the genetic pattern, it spread much faster and it is much more contagious. That's the major contributing factor. Second thing, changing in the behavior pattern of the people, forgetting the preventive measures and more festivals, more crowds in the festivals, elections, more rallies, causing crowd, and that spread the disease. Third is some administrative laxity in the vigilance and in terms of testing, in terms of tracking, in terms of treating. There is some administrative. These are all the three factors. Most important, the virus has changed its pattern, which is 30 to 50% more contagious than earlier, which never expected. None of the experts have predicted this. I think if you look at the viral mutation variant, there are more than 200 mutations that happened so far from last year. Mutation helps the virus by increasing the rate of infection, increasing the severity of the disease, and ability to escape the vaccine immunity in India. I think we got all the UK variant, South African variant, Brazilian variant, USA variant, all are spread more rapidly. However, the UK variant, it also spread more rapidly. In addition to it, it is most virulent. And this is the one from UK people who came from Delhi, Haryana, Punjab, that is the major variant came there from that time. Then it spread to Mumbai Business Center. From there, it changes, another variant, double variant, what we have been facing it in Indian variant has come there. So these variants are replacing the original virus. Now we have double variant, this UK variant, so by double variant become with Indian changing, drifting here. We need a newer vaccine with a broader coverage of including these strains also in our vaccination preparation. The current wave in India, what can be predicted? Have higher infectivity. That is what reality orientation, RO, that's what epidemic. If I cannot remember RO, what it means, reality oriented, what does it mean? I think we should, simple way, we should use it, have higher infectivity. That, what earlier it used to have many months, doubling the number of cases. Now within 1 week, there is doubling of this. This is more rapidly spreading. Faster, whenever there is a fasterly curve goes up, the mathematicians curve has to come up very rapidly. One can expect decline in the rate as soon as possible. How soon? Well, peak may be seen the end of the May, decline in the baseline by June 2021, as a matter of fact. Over the years, after June off, and on positive cases will be known coming in many years gradually with very mild illness, just like what we're experiencing in the H1N1 pandemic. Humanity will survive for sure. Let us face it. Is routine CT scan is needed in diagnose the management of follow-up with COVID-19 patient. I'm surprised to say every people who get COVID positive, they get a CT scan. I think we do have black sheep in the laboratory and hospital also. I feel it very much hurt as a matter of fact. This has been the white paper published from the chest imaging of intervention of the Government Society of Chest Imaging expert as of 27th of April 21. Please never get a CT scan for the diagnosis of coronavirus. It cannot diagnose. And please don't use that as a severity in the management. Please don't indicate for follow-up. Even despite the patient demands, relative demands, and also the anybody demands, please avoid it. And also many people, sir, I have insurance, sir. Get a CT scan, sir. I also been hearing all these things. But CT scan should be avoided only if the clinical clues are there, your doctor takes it to assess the severity. Otherwise, not what the CT scan says, out of 28, how many you have? 3, 4, got mild, severe, mild. I think only clinically you have to do it. This is also American Thoracic Society, American Radiology Society also, they said not to include a CT scan. This is the information. And also regarding vaccine safety concern, what is your experience? We have enough, I can spend one day, I can talk about all these things. My intention, accident kind of vaccine can happen. It happened in the year 1929 in Lübeck disaster in Germany, where a live tuberculosis germs, BCG vaccine is to be given by mouth at that time. BCG, instead of giving BCG vaccination protein, the doctor has given the live in the laboratory, live virus. Nearly about 150 people or so were given, and they then realized they followed for many years, but it is the greatest human learning experience for all over the world. We know when you get the TB germs in the mouth, how long it takes TB skin test to become positive. It takes 1 month. How long it shows on the X-ray chest, how long the gland will develop, how it calcifies, how scar formation, how soon it spread to the brain. These are all the things we learned. It's a learning experience, but some of the lives we lost, we feel very bad. And that doctor was jailed for about 2 years for the mistake. What is it? Recently, we had polio. All the Rotarians have no polio vaccine. You have been using it. And that also accidentally, live polio virus vaccine has given. And many people developed ferals, as a matter of fact. And also later on, they followed all this thing. We learned one thing: if you give smaller doses, natural way, you can also get immunity in addition to the giving the dead virus also. This is something we have learned, as a matter of fact. By giving vaccine, you are not eliminate the germs, disease. You also avoid the death and complications. And recently, last year, 2010, we had H1N1 vaccine. After that vaccine, few people developed sleep, Kumbhakarna, sleeping day and day at Kumbhakarna. That is called narcolepsy. They found out it's from the vaccine. Many people complained, and it took about 4 years to claim that is not due to that. And we don't know what it is, as a matter of fact. But some conflict does happen, but very difficult to prove. Ladies and gentlemen, benefit far outweigh the rare adverse reaction emergency after millions of people being immunized. The scientist, manufacturer, and other co-officials will keep an eye on side effects of the vaccine which are rolled out. Let us each one teach one, care one, and vaccinate one. I think here I have to highlight few things. The UN chief Antonio Guterres Lords India on January 29, 2021. India vaccine production capacity, one of the best assets in the world has today. I like to share 2009, in the May, I was in Geneva, WHO meeting. During that, as an NGO, during that time, only Thailand country rose and climbed up. Why can't you give the vaccine material to us? We can produce much faster and 1/3 the cost. Because you always giving English speaking countries, European countries, America, Canada, you don't give it to us. Why not? Why can't you give it? Why discrimination? Thailand raised that issue. Now we are happy we can able to make vaccine in India. We are the #1 vaccine producing in the world. We feel proud of it. Our concern to humanity in distributing the vaccine, other well appended by the WHO Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus. And also, when hesitancy was there, I quoted this picture. Two of my friends, Professor Major Nagaraju, he is an allergist, immunologist, and he had a kidney transplant. He is from Savita University in Chennai. He had kidney transplant, immune suppression, but he had the vaccine. 2 vaccines he didn't have. Another friend is Professor Sanjeev Rai from Mangalore, Father Miller Medical as a dean, and he had a 2 doses. He had a kidney transplant also. He never had any reaction. And also, vaccine are not recommended people who got food allergy, who had anaphylactic reaction. I think they refused to give me, as a matter of fact, because I had a near fatal anaphylactic reaction addressing in Goan Rotary Club. And they said, look, vaccine is volunteer. I volunteer. I'm a preacher. I love to practice. Please give it to me. Whatever reaction happen, I'll face it. I'll keep the emergency drug in my hand. So I got it. These are all the giving a courage to the people. Don't hesitate. Please take it. I think expert prediction, human motivation, determination. We are coming few slides only. That is Nadar Poonawalla. Before flying to UK, he said, Nobody could have predicted the rapidity of the severity of the spread of coronavirus with this intensity. We never predicted it, he said himself as a scientist. Even God could not have imagined. That was his statement. So definitely this is causing havoc. Human, and also Ratan Tata, I agree with him. Human motivation and determined effort can overcome any crisis. We will defeat the corona hands down, and the Indian economy will bounce back in a great manner, no matter which financial expert comments, anything like that. This is my personal opinion. I got experience to this to state that. That is what he quotes that. Keeping that in mind, this is important thing. All the people have to do it. We doctors, many people don't know when the people in the house are dying and death occurs, various emotional stages will happen. This is what we learned. We doctors never learn anything, how to cope up with a situation. We learned over the year of experience. So stage of disbelief, stage of anger, stage of compromise, stage of depression, stage of realization going to happen. It might take few days, few hours, few days, few weeks, sometimes lifelong, depending on what they hear. And so when you take a person, he's been quarantined, he got COVID, mild infection. When he start breathing little here, you take him to the hospital. There they said, I think you have to do that test, this test. We'll find out he looks a little serious. And you say at that time in the mind, maybe it is not that serious. We'll see. This doctor says, my family doctor said not to worry. And he sent reference. And they disbelieve. When it comes after the lab report, look here what he predicted is right. He has to be put on the ventilator. This one do it, this one do it, this one I have to do it. Then the people get perturbed. They develop anger. Why it was delayed? Why did we delay the data? You said not to take. You said not to take. That's what anger will come there. During that time, if you say that I wish any calamity happened, I wish you'd have brought him a little earlier. We would have saved. Is it hours, minutes, days? Nobody knows about it. I think it's a cowardice act when somebody says like that. We should not use it. So going back, and the whole of some of the small nursing homes have been devastated, broken completely, beaten up the doctors, families, as a matter of fact. But if the family takes them a little later and they say, I told you, we'd have taken it early, you didn't care for it. Lifelong they suffer. Because of our delay, it happened. So please don't worry about the delay. As situation comes, you have to handle it. And the stage of compromise. When you say you're doing all this thing during that time, sir, we have our relative in UK, USA, Australia, anything. We have to learn. We have all the facility here, availability. If anything is there, we'll tap your resources. We have to learn how to communicate with the skill. And stage of depression. Afterwards, when you go for a round, they don't see eye to eye. They get depressed. They don't see eye to eye. Why it happened? We never harm anybody. And we always pray God. And also in the rural area, and many people, they scold the God also. God, can't you have eyes? Can't you have ears? What have you done for it? Why did you create this problem for us? We also scold the God also. At the same time, they get depressed when you're communicating with the doctor. Stage of realization, it comes. Look here, we have been doing our best possible way as human beings. Doctors are doing their way best possible quality care. Let's leave it to the nature. These are all the stages. We have to learn the art of communication. When you say anger stage, look here, during that time, I would have done the same thing. Now the situation got worse, higher care, you have come there. This is how you have to look it up. So this is how communication art, we have not learned in medical school, we learn over the experience. Many people, please follow these things, don't get angry unnecessarily, going to depressed, or let us realize the situation and tackle accordingly. So current update as of 2 days from WHO. This is one or two last slides. This is from my dear friend, the chief scientist, Soumya Swaminathan. She is also a pediatric pulmonologist, and I inducted her to a respiratory chapter when I was the president to my organization. Very brilliant girl, and we shared many days on many occasions across the globe. I think what B1617 variant, what we are facing, it's a global concern. They have not named India. It's a global concern. Whatever be the variant, give the opportunity to spread while we are safeguarding. He also says low dose, it gives the, let it spread, low dose. At the same time, safeguard yourself. If at all going to spread, it is a natural immunity will come there. Vaccine available in India are still highly effective against the strains. I think that's a good news. So there was some question, Covishield. Now they suggested it works, use it. Duration of the pandemic depends on the evolution of the virus itself, as I mentioned earlier also. The ability to produce the vaccine with variants, some variants also include in the new vaccines. Duration of production immunity of the vaccine, we don't know yet. We suspect it may be 6 months to 12 months. The reduction can be seen when the vaccinated globally, if the 30% of the population in the world are immunized, which expected in 2021, by the end, maybe you could see the downward trend at that time. When the 60 to 80% of the population of the world get immunized, that expected only 2021, then we can see the ending of the pandemic. Treatment protocols, they recommend only paracetamol. If you have fever, drink a lot of fluids, don't touch here and there. A single drug they recommend is only the steroid, dexamethasone. And that has to be given, not everybody. When to give, how long to give is very essential. When the people start needing oxygen, then only you give it. That will decrease the inflammation. If you give early, give the high dose of fungal infection, a whole lot of will come. That is what the only drug recommended. I'm finishing, yes. Not doxycycline, azithromycin, ivermectin, remdesivir, or hydroxychloroquine. This has not been recommended. Ladies and gentlemen, take home message. Yes, we are facing the healthcare crisis beyond any expert's imagination like other countries. Leadership is in action, not in position. This crisis taught us a lot of lessons. Our goodwill earned sharing vaccine to other countries, returning that help with a smile. All the steel industries chiefs are producing only oxygen for our needs. We are overcoming the oxygen deficiency. Army staff has built 1,000-bedded ICU near Bangalore in old airport road. Retired doctors are all in the job helping the needy ones and so on. We will overcome this crisis with scientific basis, stress on scientific basis, and social service-oriented industrial commitment with sensible, committed leadership. Be cheerful, be happy, be safe, follow up the guideline. What is recommended? Use the mask, distance yourself, and hand washing is needed. Thank you very much for your patient hearing.
Thank you, Dr. Parmesh ji. I think the session was excellent. I think the amount of information that you have put together for us in all different angles and all possible questions that we possibly could have raised have already been answered. I think it's an excellent presentation, and your time, I know, is very valuable. And so we deeply, deeply appreciate you taking the time and your concern for, people like us who are not medically trained, but are perhaps anxious due to misinformation and different kinds of things that we read through our WhatsApp and during, our conversations that we have with friends and family. I think many of those fears and anxieties that we possibly could have had have been addressed in your presentation this evening. And so we greatly, from the bottom of our heart, appreciate the knowledge that you've shared with us, to the Elmeasure family and the extended family here that is with us this evening. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sam.
We appreciate the time. Is there maybe perhaps one or two questions?
With pleasure, I have time.
Okay. Maybe anything that is not answered in the session, that you still have a question or a doubt that you would like to ask?
Please.
Please,
Yeah,
unmute yourself.
I would like to ask, is that now we are talking about second wave. Would like to know something on the third wave, and which they are talking about, and the kids will be getting affected too much. This is what actually the media, it may be a speculation or the media information.
Well, I think it is an expert's guesswork, as a matter of fact. Jyotishi ಹೇಳಿದಾಗೆ. Guesswork from the expert's opinion, thinking of that one. We don't know how severe. We predicted second one, we missed it. The second one, we expected it could be much higher. so that we can prepare ourselves. And also it will affect more of the youngsters, children, and also adverse reaction seems to be little more. We are preparing ourselves, and also it's going to spread to the rural area. So we are working in that area to avoid spreading and all those things in the rural, the panchayats and all those things. I think we are looking into those aspects. Yes.
Go ahead, Mr. Ravi, go ahead. We cannot hear you.
Yes, Ravi?
We cannot hear you. I think you have something with your audio. We're not able to hear you.
Hello.
Yes, Ravi.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead, Vivek, while we wait for Ravi.
I was telling that wear the mask full time. So what is the duration means from morning to evening? If you wear the mask, then we'll get suffocated and people say carbon dioxide, whatever breathing out, it will go in our mouth. So can you just give a clarification on the wearing the mask?
Yes, as a matter of fact, first, last query says carbon dioxide buildup will not be will avoid. So forget about from your mind.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, nose gives the 50% of resistance to the airflow. Okay. When you hold the mask a little tight here, you have some difficulty breathing pressure. Otherwise, carbon dioxide 20 times more faster releasing. Carbon dioxide will never build up. Carbon arco don't come up. But discomfort, we can get used to it. Mostly things, if you wear a glass, the fog comes there. As a matter of fact, you don't see the glass or stepping anything like that. You don't have to wear a mask continually. If you are in a group, where going that if you have a distance, you need not wear. In the house, if you are not there, there's no contact, anything like that, do not have to wear. So when you go out, anything like that, if you're not able to keep the distance, a certain situation, you have to wear it.
And second thing that we are telling that wash your hand frequently. Okay, but when we are at home, so we have to do like this, that wash the hand or.
Well, when you're home, not doing anything, if you test something unusual, different, go in our office, your table, desk, and that area has to be cleaned and to be had. Otherwise, no need to. So keep yourself clean. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you, doctor.
Sir, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Sir, I have a question.
Yes.
Yes, people with blood-related issues, like a person has polycythemia, should he consult with a specialist before he takes this vaccination?
Yes, I think he has to consult his doctor. Polycythemia means your cell content is more, liquid content is less. Sometimes vaccine, it happens, it dilates the blood vessel, fluid leaks around. The hematocrit grow up. Clot formation can be a little more in those people. Yes, these issues, discussing with that one, and take the vaccine, but make sure you drink a lot of fluids. So continuously, a lot of fluids. So even if you develop fever, if you have 1 degree more, you have to take 10% more fluid. If you're 2 degrees, 20% more. 3 degrees, 30% more. You have to take enough fluids. And also when you sweat, you not only lose water, you lose the salt. Bangalore Corporation water is got 3 milliequivalent of salt. Tender coconut is the best thing. It has got 30 to 40 milliequivalent of salt. Or the nature provided best hygienic thing. Take tender coconut, sir. Unless you are not having a kidney problem. Somebody is having a kidney problem. We'll avoid because you got a high potassium content. Yes.
Hello, doctor.
Yeah. Go ahead, Sunil.
Yeah. Shall we take, do you want to take Covishield again after 1 year, or how it is actually?
Well, if you have 2 doses,
yeah.
Next flu season comes there, I think high risk. Usually we give high risk group.
Okay.
Okay. Along with the flu vaccine, you can take this vaccine also separately.
Okay. You can take Sputnik or Pfizer after some time, 1 year, something like that, or?
Yes, any one of them. You can take single dose.
Okay. Thank you.
Sir, good evening.
Good evening.
You said no to CT scan. It is not recommended, as well as the remdesivir. It is commonly observed that it is to do the CT scan and recommend a remdesivir by the hospitals. So, what is your take on this?
That's a wrong thing. I strongly said there are black sheep in everything. Commercial minded.
Every hospital is doing that, sir.
But that's a recommended is the wrong thing. That's what the new guideline has come there. All India and also in United States has come down as a matter of fact. Yes, CT scan is needed. Technology excellent. That will identify the involvement of the lung severity, where exactly it is located. X-ray may be missing. But if you X-ray take, if it's a dumb doubt is there, then you take, because you're exposing to CT, you're exposing to almost 400 X-ray radiation. These people later on go to have some leukemia, cancer, and all this thing. That is the risk factor. Long-term, X-ray, younger age. These are all because of that reason. So we treat only, we treat the patient. We don't treat the X-ray, we don't treat the this one. So, sometimes your the pulse oximeter may be wrong. You're breathing normally and it shows about less than that one. Many times it happens. It identifies the higher level, low level drastically changes, it shows. I think for everybody, one thing you have to learn, I have to express here. You take a deep breath, like that. Hold your breath for 25 to 30 seconds. If you can hold your breath 25 to 30 seconds, your lungs are all right, you don't have to worry. You don't have to do anything. That is a simple pulmonary test. Second thing, if you have a technology-oriented person, like if you have pulse oximetry, take a 6-minute brisk walk inside the house, do the values before and after. If there is a 5% change in the values, then you suspect you might need oxygen, you should consult the doctor. These are all the two simple tests we can do it, sir. Otherwise, I don't want to do anything like that. Yes, remdesivir, WHO not recommended. And also even Indian guideline also, they have not recommended, as a matter of fact. Some observation shows if you give it early stage, when the virus are multiplying, it might able to help, that's all. It is not meant for this virus. But you are giving late, doesn't matter. Some people are using it at black market, my God, 25,000 also, it gone up. The wrong thing, I feel very ashamed of those things. Whoever are involved, they have to severely punished, as a matter of fact. This is a war, we have to fight, follow the leader, what is guided by the experts.
Sir, doctor, homemade treatment like take a steam, take a hot water, take a gada. So it is useful or just myth is there?
Yes, I think some people feel little clearing, if you have allergic nose problem, clearing the nose, anything like that, that would be, but steam inhalation, many people in the market as a road also they're doing, this is the wrong thing, we should not do it. As a matter of fact, this steam inhalation, we used to make cystic fibrosis patient mother sleep in the tent also in USA, 1960s and all this thing. Mid-70s, we stopped it. It doesn't help, as a matter of fact. Maybe the water what goes, inhale, that produces some of the unusual germs, water bugs, Pseudomonas, Klebsiella germs fungus can also go damage the lungs. So I think if you drink dry cough, it is beneficial because it soothes this one gives the humidity also.
Thank you. Thank you, doctor.
Yeah, sir, I have a question. Tina here.
Yes, Tina, tell me.
Yes. So like, I heard, people are forwarding so many messages in WhatsApp, stating like you can have ginger, then clove, this would help you to get rid of this corona in the, basic stage. Is that so, sir?
Well, madam, I think these spices are always good. There's no question about Indian traditional food habits are the best. It gives a lot of antioxidant. There's no question about it, dietary wise. But using to take this purpose, there is no study has been done. As a matter of fact, some death recently happened. Some Padma Shri person, he said, put lemon juice into the nose. You will get better, you get cured. One person did it, youngster, he died from that one. I think App University, you should forget it.
Understood.
I don't want to be graduate from the App University.
Doctor, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Here, Sanjay here from Coimbatore.
Yes, sir.
My wife and I took Covishield 2 weeks back.
Yes, sir.
On the same day of this vaccination, my wife and I got mild fever, and I became all right the next day, but she continued.
Yeah.
Then after 5-6 days, we waited for 3-4 days and did not stop. Then we went for a test, and she was tested positive.
Yeah.
Now she is recovering, and she is also, another question is, she's also prescribed Zampret 16 and Zampret 8 mg for 7 days and 7 days, all 14 days. So I am a little concerned whether we should continue for the second dose of Covishield, because on the same day of vaccination, the fever started, the symptom.
Okay. But she had the coronavirus infection before, sir? No.
No,
Did I
no.
understand? No.
We did not know. And
she had the vaccine.
No.
She had the vaccine.
Yes.
And she developed fever on the same day, couple of days.
Yes, exactly.
Afterwards, she had the positivity came, right?
Yes, sir.
RT-PCR was positive.
Positive.
Right, sir? Okay.
Yes.
Well, then if positive, anything like that, definitely immune system is not mobilized enough to control. She has to treat like COVID, if she has symptoms, isolation. And if you have any symptoms, breathing, anything like that, then she has to see the doctor. There is no medicine to prevent. Give only paracetamol for fever, drink a lot of fluid. These are all the recommendations WHO recommends, CDC recommends. Yes, even as a matter of fact, our All India recommends, All India Medical Science guideline. But some people use that the parasite. So as parasitic, it might able to help. That is a questionable thing, but it's not been recommended. It's as of 2 days recommendation, I've been guiding all this thing, WHO.
Sir, another question is, she was given that steroid as her oxygen level was dropping.
Yes.
And she also had already some fungal infections. And so we are also concerned about the black fungus. So is there anything connected? Because she took Zampret 16.
Yeah, I think steroid, was she an asthmatic earlier, allergy and asthma?
Not exactly asthma, and she had some kind of fungal infections, nail and some others. So we took some fluconazole and others.
Okay, the nail. So same thing. She has already had some fungal infection. That might be the cause, not from the steroid, because the steroid is started when the oxygen has dropped down, right?
Right, sir.
I think that is the right thing to do it, as a matter of fact, so that death don't happen from the lung damage. Yes.
Thank
you. And also, whatever the fungus, your dermatologist, wonderful people are there in Coimbatore. Excellent people are there. No, really, wonderful healthcare system is there, sir. But your temperature in India is the highest today when compared to Bangalore. Highest temperature we have in India. So, and I think I wish all the best. I don't think anything to worry. The fungal infection, your doctor will take care. Oxygen, the right way they've been treated. We'll wait and watch, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, doctor. Thank you.
I wish all the best.
Maybe one more question, and then we'll give.
Yes.
Sir, I have
anybody? Yes.
I have a question.
Yes.
If anyone has a little cold or little cough, should he go for a COVID test immediately?
Well, in this situation, this is a season also for H1N1, the flu season. Okay, June comes there. You are going to have this always. 60% of the infections, respiratory infection comes in June, July, August, September, October in Bangalore. So usually by the time second week cool starts, it becomes much more, as a matter of fact. So because of that, there's a flu season is there, coronavirus is there, which is the worst enemy. You make sure it is not that one. I think they do recommend to fighting it, sir. So in this situation, difficult to say. As a matter of fact, how do you differentiate allergy, cold, and this another medical thing? Usually cold, you don't have fever and all these things. And if allergy, only when you get up in the morning, sleep 8 or 10 times, reaching of the nose will come. The reaching is there. That's allergy. Forget about it. If you have a little cold, thick mucous membrane, a thick mucus coming here, and no fever or body ache, anything like that, it may be cold. If you have body ache, feel taste is gone, smell is gone, severe headache, and tiredness, make sure it is definitely COVID. This clinically one can see that your doctor can guide you. Yes, this is how some of the symptoms one can use it.
Thank you.
But best thing is take this one single breath, hold your deep breath, hold it for 25, 30 seconds. That means your lungs are all right. Nothing to worry. Yes.
Excellent advice. Thank you, Dr. Parmesh, again. You have spent so much of your valuable time with us, and you, I think, like I said, alleviated a lot of fears because we've had a few cases at the company. Some of them have recovered really, really well. Some are in the process of recovering, and several of the people that you're seeing are from the non-profit as well. That's why they're saying Coimbatore. That's where all the non-profit happens, and so some of them have joined from there as well. And so you've helped us understand the situation and how we're supposed to deal with the situation as well. So we thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts for